What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? Rapper XXXtentacion was gunned down outside of a motorcycle dealership on Tuesday in Deerfield, Florida. Authorities say that two men approached him as he was leaving, and one man drew a gun. They shot him, and he took off in a SUV. They say that his body was transferred to the hospital, and that's where they pronounced him dead. But if you've been following this story at all and you seen that video, you could tell he was dead on the scene. Let me give you a little background on X. So he gained notoriety in 2017. He was already bubbling, but in 2017 is when he went mainstream with his single "Look at Me." His album 17 landed #2 on Billboard 200, and in March, XXXtentacion's album reached #1 on Billboard. He was just getting ready to pop off. Now, some background on his personal issues that he had with law. Some people think that he dug his own grave because he had some cases pending where he was accused of assaulting his girlfriend and even holding her hostage. So, in fact, they called it false imprisonment. So, some people are saying that, he dug his own grave also because of the language in his music. He talked about death a lot. Police say that they suspect that he was a victim of a robbery. So, of course, anytime somebody goes too soon, especially a celebrity, you have all kinds of running theories. And one of the theories is that maybe he was robbed by one of his enemies, or he was robbed because he was flashy. Who knows? That's what the Broward County Sheriff's Office believes, that he was robbed. They don't know why. Now, here's the thing about that. Some people say, well, if he flashy, then, you get what you get. Not necessarily. You see, when you say things like that, you give the perpetrators merit. You give them an excuse to do what they do. You make them think that they're right for doing what they do, when they're wronger than two left shoes. Nobody has a right to take your shit from you just because they don't like how you present what you have. Some people are just flashier than others. The thing about killers is that they don't care if you're flashy or you're not flashy. They'll kill you too. The main person that's talking about they're not going to flash, a killer will take you out too. Yeah, you can rush it by flashing, but still, nevertheless, that same killer that killed XXXtentacion will kill you too. So we got to stop excusing this reckless behavior. Are there some things that dude could have done differently? Yeah, keep in mind, man, boy was only 20 years old. Some of y'all who are much older act like you ain't never made any mistakes. Y'all act like y'all ain't never talked reckless. Like y'all ain't never did anything. Like y'all were just perfect young people, perfect teenagers, perfect 20-year-olds. Where does this mentality come from? The dude had a lot of growing up to do, and time ran out on him. We don't know if he was killed for a beef. All we know is that he was killed. We don't know if he was just targeted just because, he was riding in a nice car and, the killers thought he had some money on him. We don't really know what the real reason behind him getting killed was. But to just discard him like he's nothing, I mean, and you do that to him, you'll do it to another 20-year-old. And the thing about it is that Think about what would have happened if Malcolm would have stopped at 20. Malcolm X was a hoodlum at 20 years old. He was a thief at 20 years old. He was a womanizer at 20 years old. He was in jail. What if everybody would say, because where he is right now in life, there is no hope for him. He's nothing. He's nobody. But look what he became. I do believe had that youngster lived longer, he probably would have pulled himself together because he was very, very, smart. Some may say he didn't have too much common sense. That's debatable. But the dude was trying. I seen him make mistakes, and then I seen him try to correct mistakes. He wasn't one of the dudes that you couldn't talk to, So, he was just misguided. He was misguided. But I'm not saying that him being misguided is what, got him killed. I'm not saying that. I'm just, giving, an assessment of, his personality from what I gather. So, we got to be careful about being so critical of our young. We really do eat our young. He's talking about how the youth today is lost. A lot of people like to say that the youth is lost. Oh man, they lost. I hear people that are quicker to criticize them than to offer solutions or to try to talk to them, get in their ear and guide them and give them some direction. There are people way more quicker to just criticize. Oh man, ain't no hope for them. Have you pulled one to the side and tried to talk to them? Now, you're not going to reach every single one of them. Some of them are too far gone. But because some are too far gone, do you throw the baby out with the bathwater and just say, forget it all? You don't have that luxury unless you just really don't give a damn about your future. Unless you really don't give a damn about your grandchildren that you're going to leave behind. Your children that you're going to leave behind, the world that you leave behind for them. I guess you just really don't give a damn, because some of you are selfish like that. I get it. But the rest of you, I don't believe that you're that selfish. I believe that you want to leave this world in a better position than you came into it. You want to have your children to have a better life than you had, better opportunities than you. And I know sometimes it seems bleak. I mean, we got this moron in the damn White House, for God's sake. But I do believe that there is hope. And if you believe that, you cannot, with a conscious mind, discard the youth. The youth is indeed the future. It's not just a slogan. It's not just a cliche. The youth is the future. And so goes the youth, so goes the future. Now, you willing to take that chance? Are you really willing to just say, well, because I'm butthurt, because I'm emotional, and I've just given up. I'm just tired of dealing with them. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to let it go and just let the world go to hell. I've enjoyed my part of the parts that I had fun with. Yeah, I had some fun in my youth, and I had some fun in my 20s and 30s or whatever, but, the hell with them. I don't think you're there yet. And if you're not there, instead of being afraid of the youth, how about trying to encourage the youth instead of dogging them out? How about trying to pull them up? How about instead of just walking past them when you see them doing wrong or you see them doing something questionable, how about stopping and having a conversation? Most of them will listen. Some of them ain't going to listen. But that's a chance I'm willing to take. I took that chance a couple of weeks ago. I was walking into a store, and these two youngsters were outside asking for money, begging for money. And when I first walked by them, I was like, I ain't got, and then I thought about it. And I turned around. I asked them. I said, what? I came back. I said, man, what y'all out here doing? What you doing? What you asking for money for? Oh, we trying to get home. Trying to get on the bus to go home. I said, how much? So you need $1 to go home, to get on the bus. Yes, sir. I explained to them that nobody likes beggars. I explained to them that they could get more money by earning than they could by begging, and they would have more respect. Now, some people, that's suggestive. You can make an argument about that, but some people do, I guess, make more money begging. But there's more honor, is what I'm saying. There's more honor in an honest day's work, right? For an honest day's pay. So they could actually, I explained to them how they could just take $20, start off with $20, go buy a case of water from Sam's or Costco or whatever wholesale food store. They can get a whole case, 40 bottles of water for $4, and sell each one of those bottles for $1 a piece, and they could make $36 on top of that $4, their initial investment. And they could do that in a day, especially in Houston, where it's so hot. That's good money for a youngster. Then if you want to expand your enterprise, go get you some candy. People love candy. Get you some M&Ms, 40 pack, spend about $10. Now you got yourself $30 on top of that. You sell them for $1 a piece. Now you got $30 on top of your initial $10. So that's 30 plus 30, $66. That's a lot more money than I was making in a day as a youngster. Another thing is this. A lot of people are blaming the victim. I've heard more people blame X for his own murder than I've heard them blame the people who murdered him, who basically just destroyed their lives, because more than likely somebody will kill them or they'll get busted, go to jail for a gang of years. Now, I don't expect Broward County Sheriff's Office or anybody, any law enforcement in America, to bring the killers to justice. If the killers get brought to justice, it'll be by accident. Somebody will actually deliver them, or there'll be a confession or something along those lines. They're not going to go out and do no extensive or any kind of investigative work because they just don't care. What's really pathetic is the same dudes who killed XXXtentacion are the same dudes who ain't got no problem killing other members of the black community. But people outside of the black community who are direct threats to the black community, people who have killed black people unjustly, George Zimmerman types, Darren Wilson types, they're scared of that. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?
Damn.